Interesting business angle for the NFL that needs to be addressed. It's popped up from time to time in recent weeks, and it's going to get resolved sooner than later for a couple of reasons. First of all, most of the TV deals for the NFL run through 2022. One of them, one of the biggest ones, Monday Night 21. Peter King had some reporting in Football Morning in America about the reality that the NFL is closing in on a new round of deals that would go for 10 years. Jabari Young of CNBC had some information last week as well, suggesting that the NFL wants to finalize the framework of these deals before setting the next salary cap, which tells me, Myles, this $100 billion in total value over the next 10 years quite possibly will get shuffled around a little bit to help boost the cap in a year that it otherwise would be depressed due to the pandemic from 198.2 down to 180. Maybe some of this new money, this new TV money, will slide into 2021 and up goes the cap, and it makes it easier for some of these teams that are in real cap trouble to operate this year.
Yeah, and not only will it help those teams, I mean, it helps these players, man, because I think we're going to see a lot of veteran guys who don't have that much guaranteed money left on their contracts start to get cut. And when you talk about that, that is kind of this middle class right there of football veterans who are, probably into their second contracts, maybe moving into their 30s, people who can still be productive, but they're going to get a little more expensive because they're going to command more salary because they have more experience. So I think the sooner they can get this done, the better. And if that does affect the cap and they're able to push that thing up a little bit further, it's only going to benefit everybody, Mike. And I think that's probably why they want to get it done so quickly.
Prime example, J.J. Watt falls right into that category. Guy on the wrong side of 30, not a superstar anymore. How can any team know what it can offer him without knowing what the cap is going to be? That extra million or two you give to J.J. Watt is the thing that may cause you to cut some other players, one or more of them, that would otherwise be an important part of the broader cause in 2021. Or the extra money you give to Watt, that's less money you'd have to maybe go grab a free agent who gets cut by another team, a guy who's available, or a guy who didn't get the offer that he wanted and he's willing to do a one-year deal to join your team. So everyone needs to know what the cap is going to be. Clark Hunt, the chairman of the league's finance committee, said before the Super Bowl that they may not know what the cap is until just hours before the start of the new league year on March 17. So these TV deals could go a long way toward pumping them up, or at least keeping the salary cap from falling quite as far as many think. The prevailing thought continues to be neighborhood of 180 million. One of the factors that's still unknown, what's the expected attendance for 2021? That could help drive up the number a little bit as well. It's all part of a negotiation between the league and the union. But before the league and the union can negotiate on what the cap will be, the league's got to have an agreement. The team's got to have an agreement. And Myles, for strategic reasons, some of these teams are sitting on a mountain of cap space. Their position may be, hey, sucks to be you. Let's go. You got to cut some guys? Sorry, you should have kept more cap space back in the event of some unexpected development like this one.
Yeah, if you're the Browns and you've got a bunch of cap space and you're seeing J.J. Watt out there and you're like, hey, man, it doesn't necessarily matter what the cap is going to be. We know we want you, and we can probably pay you a little bit more than some of these other teams that are very close to either being Super Bowl contenders or are already Super Bowl contenders if you want to ring chase. Look, we're Cleveland, and yeah, we know that we haven't been very good for very long, and we've been really bad for a really long time, but you can really be part of the piece that helps take us over the top. And if you're that, and you can say that to J.J. Watt, and you can present him with a good contract, with a good salary before you know what the cap is, then you're in a better situation than a lot of other teams are right now. And Mike, I think that could really be one of the determining factors in where J.J. Watt goes.
So here's where the TV deals are likely to stand. And let me just preface these comments by saying I have no inside information. NBC only wakes me up for the unimportant meetings. The reporting that others have pushed forward suggests that CBS and Fox will keep the Sunday afternoon package as they have for years now. NBC likely to keep, expected to keep, will keep Sunday Night Football, a package that NBC has had since 2006. Thursday Night Football is one of the wild cards. None of the three-letter networks want it, apparently. Amazon may get it. The problem is it's not going to have that three-letter broadcast platform where you get 20 million or more people tuning in. People are going to have to stream it. Maybe it'll be on NFL Network, but that becomes something that has less value as it relates to the infomercial aspect. All the people who tune in to watch this game, you're not going to have that on Thursday night. And Myles, I think that makes it more important. If Thursday night is a non-three-letter network night, Monday night needs to be a three-letter network night. It needs to be ESPN, ABC simulcast. That's the last domino that apparently needs to fall, with the other wrinkle being Sunday Ticket. There's been talk of ESPN Plus inheriting the streaming aspect from DirecTV. I think it would be wise to keep with DirecTV the satellite element, because there are still plenty of people who don't have the kind of internet service needed to stream games, but still have out in the middle of nowhere that satellite dish that allows them to pull all the games off of the satellite. So that feels like where it's heading, but until it gets there, we don't know for sure, but multiple reports are kind of lining it up that way.
I think the Thursday night part of this is super interesting because basically when Thursday Night Football started, it used to be this thing where it's like, oh boy, what AFC South matchup are we watching here? You know, the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing on Thursday night, and it seems like this is always what happens. And who is Marcus Mariota going to throw a touchdown pass to? It's different now because it's been on NBC, on CBS, on Fox. So you've needed better matchups, and Fox has really gotten that in the last few years. But if this thing goes to Amazon, I think it's going to start rolling that back, where the premium matchups really won't necessarily be on Thursday night anymore, because you're just frankly not going to have the same amount of eyeballs on that thing as you did when it was on a three-letter network. So that's one really fascinating part of it to me. And I think what you're saying about the Monday Night Football makes that even more true. You want that on one of these three-letter networks. You want that thing simulcast on ABC. And hey, you're going to get more viewers on it just because it's broadcast television as opposed to cable television. But it also means, I think, that Monday Night Football can get these more premium matchups that you would sometimes see on Thursday night, because it's going to be a marquee game, more of a marquee game again than I think it's kind of been over the course of the last few years. And Mike, the other interesting thing that's been reported about that was the fact that they could get some flex games in the late season from Monday Night Football. I think that would kind of be a game changer.
And I think that better than flexing Sunday to Monday and Monday to Sunday, which creates logistical problems for everyone involved, fans, media, teams, everyone, the idea of a certain number of double headers, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right? Where you pick the two games for that night and you decide a week beforehand which is the prime matchup on ABC and which is the secondary matchup on ESPN. And the notion of expanding the windows, I think that's something to keep an eye on as we go forward, as gambling develops, as more states come online with it, as we get to the point where real-time betting throughout the course of a game is easier to accomplish technologically, where what you watch on TV is instantaneously arriving in your house, on your phone, on your tablet from the game site. The latency gets ironed out of the process. That's when people can make bets, play after play, drive after drive. And the more you put games in one game per window, the more people congregate, the more opportunities there are, because otherwise you got 9 games going on at 1 o'clock Eastern on a Sunday. Those are wasted opportunities because it's not like people are going to be making bets on multiple games, this play, that play, this play, that play. There's not enough time to do it. So I think a move toward more windows, 2 on Monday night, maybe 1 on Tuesday night, maybe squeeze another window into Sunday. Those are all things that I think we need to keep an eye on, and the possibility of a double-header element on Monday night. We saw it this year. It was a pandemic reality, and I think it worked. And I won't be surprised if that's how they deal with the effort to pump up the Monday schedule. A couple of games late in the year, and then we'll decide which one is worthy of the bigger platform.
Yeah, I think the Monday night doubleheader idea is great because I think, look, I think it was pretty successful just from even my standpoint. I'm sitting here and I'm watching multiple games on Monday night, and it's like, wow, you get to the end of the first one, it's like, man, there's another one that's about to kick off. This is awesome. So, look, you already have these windows that are built in on Sunday. I think fewer games on Sunday, where then you say, all right, you have fewer games in the 1 o'clock window, you have more in the 4 o'clock, you have one at night. I think that has worked pretty well. But when you have these international games sometimes, and if, we can have international games again in 2021. Who knows what that's going to be once we get to September. But you can have that early window where, again, the Jaguars seem to always be playing in that. And then you could have two games on Monday where then you're saying, all right, look, it's a double header. And you can then figure out which matchup is going to be the prime matchup and which one is going to be the B team matchup. I think the schedule flexibility that would give and the more opportunities, like you said, for sports betting that would present would be something that's really, really beneficial to the league as a whole, Mike.
Legalized gambling is going to lead to a push for more things on which to bet, more windows, more games, and eventually, mark it down, more teams. There's enough quarterbacks now to have more teams. I feel like that's just a matter of time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.